Alright, so I thought I would talk a little bit more about my use of the Everbook and ultimately why it did not work for me and why I prefer my notebook. If you watched my last video, you'll know I started using this Everbook out of a transition period between finishing my old notebook and starting my new one. Found I was just taking a lot of notes on loose paper, and that seemed to be working for me. And then I was just grouping it together and figured, you know what? Seems like I'm starting an Everbook. And so what this is, essentially, is this single piece of paper that I folded, wrote the word Everbook on, and then kept all of this other stuff inside with a clip that held it all together on top. Now, of course I was using it, just daily notes, things like that. And I printed out a little calendar that I would keep in there too. But what I was really using it for, and in a way still am using it, is, I'll find an example here, for something that I'm reading. Especially, as you can see, I read a lot of books, physical books, and I have an e-ink reader, but I often like to read on paper, mark things up. Even if I have the book, but it's a nice copy, I don't want to, ruin it with my markings necessarily. Become more that way as I get older. And so I could print out a chapter relevant to the project I'm thinking of, and then do my highlighting, my annotating as I see fit on here. And then it's in a folder for the thing that I'm working on, as you can see. So on the front, this is for an essay I just published, Kierkegaard Must Be Read Playfully. And then I just wrote all the book chapters that I've got here, and then like the core claim of the essay. And then inside it, I've got a little checklist I printed out as I was revising it. And then this is from Kierkegaard and the concept of irony. And then the text, this is a different text from Caputo. And what's nice about this is with these thicker ones, I just stapled it on the edges there. And then it's like just a little booklet. And then loose thoughts that I had on separate pieces of paper here. And then that's all kept together. And why I like the use of this over my notebook is the ability to print those things out, and then you have them with the note-taking system. Another thinker I've been reading is this Danish thinker called Løgstrup. And so I have a Løgstrup folder, and I just have chapters from the book I've been reading here. And I really like that. This sort of the idea of this Everbook is that you can keep what you need and are using, and take out what you no longer need and are not using. And maybe I just have a lot going on in my mind at the same time, but this ended up getting very thick, as thick as my notebook is already. So I wasn't saving any space, because I'm basically carrying around, several book chapters all at the same time. But then I would find I didn't really know how to archive things in a way that would make them retrievable. So one of the things, I use my old notebook here as an example, one of the things I always do in a notebook is, let's just open this the right way here, create an index at the back where every page or not even every page, because multiple topics could be on the same page. So any topic gets a listing here, and then the page number that it relates to. And as you can see here, this is actually for that same essay, Kierkegaard, It Must Be Read Playfully. It expands numerous ranges of pages, and those all get put down here. And this is notebook to notebook how I keep track of everything. And ultimately, over dozens of notebooks, it's still not that many pages to review if I'm looking for something specific. And I really didn't know how to do this, because you can't number these pages, because they can be flipped around and the order can be changed, which is a benefit, but also a drawback when it comes to actually finding things. And so as I used this for more than like a week, I was struggling really to know where things were and where I should put them, so that I could find them. That really is the crux of the problem with the Everbook for me. I think it makes sense, and I do see how it solves some particular problems, but I think that the way that I use a notebook, it feels very natural to me. And also this sort of system I have of indexing and threading, which, similar to what I was just explaining here with the index, is if I continue a thought on a new page, let me find an example here. Here. A thought on a new page, I simply write in the bottom here, the last page where I can find that, and so forth. That's an idea I got from Ryder Carroll's bullet journal. But I think I use it, I don't know, in a bit more advanced way, or yeah, I'm not sure. It seems a little bit different and more useful the way I use it. So that combination, the threading and then the index at the back, both seem to fix the same problems as the Everbook, and then also fix problems that I have with the Everbook, if that makes sense. And so for that reason, I couldn't use this in place of a notebook. But I do still carry this around. I should probably just take out some of these old daily notes that I don't need anymore. But I do have still, these book chapters that I'm reading through. And so this is actually still going with the clip, in my bag with me, along with my notebook. So I'm just carrying more with me now. But whereas before I might have had these texts on my iPad or my e-ink reader, now I have them on paper, if I so choose. And that's really all there is to it. It's the main reason I stopped using the Everbook, even though I sort of naturally felt myself using it for a little bit there. It wasn't sustainable for me. And yeah, this is where things belong for now. So, pretty short, but I hope that answers your questions on my time using the Everbook. If you have any more questions on it, let me know and I'll try and get back to you. All right, thanks.